You know, one of the things that I find really interesting here is that like restorative nature that you have, right? Bringing things back. That's just what God did for us, right? We are saved by the blood of Jesus, and he restored us and made us a new creation. So these bikes, or we've got some motorcycles over here, and we have
bikes,
some
three-wheelers.
quads.
Got a couple four-wheelers here.
The bikes are part of No Rules Ranch. And don't let anyone ever tell you that Christians don't have a great time. We are not boring. We have an amazing time, and this is an example of that. And that's one of the things that we want to, No Rules Ranch wants to get that out. Brother Mike's Outdoor Adventures wants to get that out. That you can be saved, living godly lives, but having an amazing time while doing it here on earth. All right, so Andrew, we've talked about the three-wheelers, the quads, the motorcycles, the restoration. What else is happening at No Rules Ranch?
So No Rules Ranch all around is a brand that I've created, and it's going to come with clothing line. We've got t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got sweatshirts, we got different things like that. I'll go into that in a bit. But the other thing that it comes with is like the lifestyle, adventure videos, how-tos. So we're going to do things like maybe do a walk around on this Big Red, as we call it, around here. Just talk about some of the different machines, you give some education on them, things like that. We're going to go into guns. We're going to talk about, do some gun reviews, if you're interested in anything like that.
And the shooting sports are going to be part of this.
Right.
Hunting is going to be part of this.
Yeah.
Fishing is going to be part of this, because you're going to come over to Brother Mike's and we're going to do some spear fishing. We're going to do some fishing. We're going to do some lobstering, free diving, and scuba diving.
Yeah. So it's really going to be a little bit of everything. We got some apparel, we got some how-tos, we got some reviews, and we got some adventures. So it's going to be a little bit of every one of those things. So
it's amazing that because people go on this journey with you, so they're going to enjoy the content that you're creating, because so many of them are not having the same opportunities, at least up until this point, that you have to do all of these things, right? And I'm believing and hoping that when lots of folks are watching these videos, that they say, hey, I can do that. That really interests me. I want to be part of that. How can I get involved? How can I enjoy a lot of the same things that Andrew at No Rules Ranch is enjoying, right? So there's an educational component, and then there's, of course, an entertaining component, all faith-based. And then lastly, it's great that you've got this apparel line, because as people connect and enjoy the content that you're creating, they're going to want to be closer. And one way they can do that is by grabbing a No Rules Ranch t-shirt or a hoodie, a sweatshirt, something along those lines. So it's like thinking ahead, because the more people enjoy the show, the more they're going to want to let other people know that they're enjoying the show. And they do that by wearing the shirt or the clothing, whatever line it might be.
Sure. Got a couple things to go off that, Mike. One thing, I've had this quote that I've told multiple people throughout my life, and I'm going to say it, the original quote, but I'm going to go off of that, is I tell people, like, you know what the difference is between rich people and poor people? And that is the fact that rich people have an idea that they go after. You know what I mean? And again, I use this for success, money, whatever. I mean, it goes for everything. Like behind me, like, man, I'd love to have that, and like, instead of talking about wanting to have it, how can I find that bike for $200 at a barn sale, and then I can, then I can work on it. I can build, I can put some elbow grease, and now, that dream that I have is something I work for, and I have it now, and so, again, I believe in that quote, whatever it is that you want in life, if you just go after it, give it a shot. You can fail. Like, we all fail in life, and that's part of life,
Well, the parable of the talents, which is in the book of Matthew, it's an incredible example of something just like that, where the master gives 3 servants, each according to his ability, a certain amount of, let's call it money, right? Talents. And one gets 5, one gets 2, and one gets 1. And the purpose of the terrible is teaching multiplication. You must take what God gives you and multiply it. That's part of the calling of who we are. So you do have to step out and take risks. The 3rd servant who took the talent, the 1, and buried it in the ground, when the master returned, he was furious. He said, you could have at least taken my talent and put it in the bank and received interest. But he didn't want to take a risk. He was too afraid. And this is an example of, if you sit on the sidelines too long, you don't get to live the life that God has for you, right? So be willing to take chances. Be willing to step out. And a lot of how you know whether or not to step out is through prayer, through study time in the Word, right? I mean, that's how this vision comes to you. This is how you know to do these things. He puts these passions on our hearts. But ultimately, these passions that are on our hearts have a singular goal, and that is to further the kingdom here on earth.
So just to touch on the clothing line, I'm into 3-wheelers, obviously. I'm into a lot of these things, and I wanted to have a t-shirt of a 3-wheeler on it. So I did my search, and I didn't really see anything. You know, being in the game, you know, quite a few years now, there's some shirts out there. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to take some of my personal machines, some of my personal guns, things like that, and put them onto a t-shirt. So I got with a local artist. I say local, went to high school with this guy. Dan Drew's great artist. So I took, let's just see, one of the 3-wheelers behind us. This was in one of my t-shirts. Took this particular bike. I had a vision, and me and him went back and forth, and we created this piece of artwork that, you know, he created. It's not AI. I know AI is taking over everything nowadays, but, you know, being traditional, liking old things like that, have traditional values and everything. I wanted natural artwork. I wanted someone's artwork. I didn't want AI. I wanted it to mean something. So I've got quite a few t-shirts out right now that actually have my personal bikes, my personal guns, things like that, and took the bike, put it into some scenery, things like that. I've got one at River Ranch, a place I like to ride, different things like that. And so now people can have, again, I want a t-shirt with 3-wheelers on it, you know? So I got t-shirt with Big Red. I've got one with a Big Red 250 ES. I've got one with ATC 70. So all these different machines that you may have at home that, hey, I'd love to have a t-shirt that has this on that. So I'm trying to create that. Because again, I was the guy that wanted this t-shirt. So I'm like, if it's not out there, I'll create it, you know? So if you have any ideas, just want to point this out too. If you have a machine that you love to see a t-shirt on, a gun, fishing trip, things like that, I'm gonna eventually have all that on the website. So that's part of the plan. I've even got a list of things that, you know, that will be on t-shirts, working through my artists, things like that. So if you got something, drop us a comment, let us know what you want to see. Also, if you want to see a video, like I said, I'm going to do videos on walkarounds. Baby Green here is one of my favorite machines. Got a video that I'll post in the near future. It's just a walk around, talk about the bike, you know, like you've got OEM, you've got custom, and that falls with everything, whether it's the guns, fishing poles, you know, the 3-wheelers, the 4-wheelers, the dirt bikes. I love the OEM stuff, but I also like the custom. So I like to do both. So got the custom. Hey, what is that headlight? What tires did you want? You know, what engine did you run in there? Things like that. So I want to do some walk-arounds on some of the custom stuff. So, you know, again, everything I'm talking about is pretty much something I want or I had a question on, you know?
And you'll be able to get in touch with Andrew through his website, which is
norulesranch.com.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be able to submit on there if there's an email address and so forth. Then we'll go ahead and put that on the screen as well, so that you guys can
as well.
see that. Instagram. because you know, a lot of his stuff is going to be on there as well as the YouTube channel. So the kinds of things that we're going to see you and No Rules Ranch doing, we're going to see essentially resto mods, restoration of this type of equipment. We're going to see shooting competition. And listen, I can vouch for this guy as being a player out there on the range. You know, I'm just trailing behind him trying to keep up. And, you know, and I call it my Ferrari, my rifle. It's obviously not a Ferrari. It's a lot of different aftermarket competition parts. We built it together and we wanted to mirror his rifle so Andrew and I built that rifle together. Gosh, it's got to be 15 years ago. And listen, I have so many, it's an amazing rifle. It has 0 recoil, 0 muzzle rise, adjustable gas block. I did shoot the barrel out. So I did replace the barrel. It's the only part that I've replaced in 15 years.
That's good, he's been shooting it.
Criterion barrel, which was a lot less expensive than the JP that I paid for. And man, 18-inch barrel, and it's dialed in and it holds at 0 and it's terrific. And I'm still shooting that same rifle in competition. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But that's just kind of segueing. You're also going to see gunsmithing, modifications, maybe even some builds. And wait till you get a shot and you get to see the collection that Andrew has of guns. So if you're a gun guy, you're gonna love his show because there's gonna be a lot of gun stuff on there. And Andrew's not just a consumer of guns. He is a very knowledgeable individual on competition parts, standard mil-spec parts, soup to nuts. If you need to see how things get broken down, how you clean, how you replace, upgrade, this is the guy who's going to show you all of those types of things. And then, like tomorrow, we're shooting a 3-gun match tomorrow in Punta Gorda, Florida. So it's a fun match. It's a monthly match that we have been shooting for a lot of years.
My first match ever.
Was it really?
I think 16 years ago, the first 3-gun match ever was there.
And so we're going to shoot that tomorrow.
Did not do good.
Oh my gosh. And don't get discouraged when you step out on the range for the first time in competition. Listen, give yourself a little grace and give yourself some time and work out the buck fever. And you will work it out. And you'll start to enjoy it. The fellas are incredibly welcoming in 3-gun. You know, they all want to talk about their equipment. They all want to share their equipment. They all want to give advice. They'll answer any questions and they'll encourage you all the way through. So Andrew, what I'm gathering from all of this information and this great interview is that you really just want to encourage people to get out there, live their life, enjoy the adventure that we've been blessed with. If you have passions, pursue them. And if you have any passion similar to Andrew, then you need to watch his show, No Rules Ranch.
Yeah, like Mike said, get out there and do it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines like, that looks cool. I would love to do that. You can. There's a will, there's a way. You can figure it out. You got to work hard, that's for sure. You know, without work, you can't have anything. But you know, don't be afraid. You know, I've seen people like, hey, there's a shooting match. I don't know if I'm ready. Everyone's ready. Number one thing, be safe. You know, and that's safety is pretty much goes with anything. Whether you're shooting, you're riding 3-wheelers, particularly. You know, be safe. You know, but go out there and try it.
If you wait until conditions are perfect before you do anything that you're impassioned about, you're never going to do it. You just have to absolutely just start doing it. You got to go out. It's okay to fall on your face. It's okay to not look great at the beginning because you have to start somewhere. All right, so what do you think we should do next?
Well, we see some trikes, some 3-wheelers, some 4-wheelers, some dirt bikes. Let's go look at some guns. How about that?
That sounds like a plan.
I like guns. We like guns.
I like guns.
All right. Welcome to my favorite room, No Rules Ranch. the gun room. So just kind of take you through a tour. What we've got right here is the vise. This vise has built 100, 200, I can't count how many guns. This is the hot rod that'll be shooting at the 3-gun match tomorrow. I just had it set up. I use this to clean. So this hot rod is very similar to Mike's hot rod that he'll be shooting. Some of the fastest guns in the world. Move on to the bullet making. So make my own bullets. I've made my own bullets probably, call it 15 years now. See some videos on if it's something you should do. This is something you want to do. So I make my own bullets essentially because it's kind of like, making a cake. If you've got your favorite recipe, you've just dialed something in, you really like it, you've got to do it. I shoot these bullets that are one of a kind to me, one of a kind to my guns. Each gun essentially has its own bullet. So 9mm, my pistol has its own bullet. My open gun has its own bullet. My PCC. So I've got 3 competition 9mm. They have their own bullets. They have their own powders. They have their own projectiles. So, it's an art. It's a passion. It's a hobby. This is where it happens. All right. Move along to the board here. Love the board. This is kind of funny. It's like an erector set. I take this. 2 days ago, this board looked completely different. I take different guns. I pin them up here. I like to go with different themes. This is actually the backdrop for where I do my gun reviews. We got Two Stamp Tuesday, where we talk about guns like this, your 2 stampers. You got 1 stamp, SBR 2 stamps. So that's got one right above it, SBS suppressor. So this is the backdrop for doing a lot of these videos. It's very fun. Like I said, it's something to change. I'll do a shotgun video. We got all shotguns. We got all 22s. We do different things up here, and it's just fun. If you see a gun up here you want to see a review on, let us know in the comments. So like I said, I plan to do all my 2 stampers. I've got like over 15 videos on that. I want to pay focus to this guy up here. This is probably the most dangerous gun in the business right here. This is for the Nintendo Wii, actually. So very dangerous gun. Definitely practice gun safety when you're messing with that. Moving along, we've got the safe here. Mike's favorite gun. Might have some shotguns over here in the corner. I'll let Mike pan in there because that's his forte. I've got some cool artwork back here too that I actually posted a picture of these guns below recently on Instagram. And I think I got more comments on this artwork. I did not paint this, so I'm not gonna take anyone's credit. But some really cool artwork that I've got. I've actually got a series of 3 of these. I've got 2 t-shirts with these as well. Just some really cool artwork. So, a lot going on in this room and more to come.